New Taipei sup rescue ends in 1 dead, 2 critical. Typhoon Dannas wrecks solar rafts, sparks scrutiny over $1 billion subsidy. Taiwan launches longest ever Kuang drills. Netanyahu meets Trump at White House. Fire at Cairo Telecom Center. First malaria treatment for babies approved. TikTok building new version of app. Archaeologists unveil 3,500-year-old city in Peru.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Wednesday, July 9th, Argentina's Independence Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan's news, a 58-year-old man drowned while paddleboarding near Guangxi Bridge in New Taipei. During the rescue, one of the boats capsized, leading to the drowning of one firefighter. Critics say the accident highlights a lack of regular water rescue training. Typhoon Dannas damaged a solar-powered test site off Pingdong's coast, scattering debris across beaches. Though the Ministry of Economic Affairs claimed panels were removed pre-typhoon, critics demand video proof. The project, backed by over 100 million NT dollars, faced growing scrutiny. Taiwan kicked off its 10-day Hanguang 41 military drills, the longest in history. The exercise simulated gray zone threats, with naval vessels deployed and ground forces on alert. This year marks the first use of brigade-level reservist mobilization. And in global news, President Donald Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House on Monday for the first time since the U.S. and Israel took military action against Iran last month in an effort to dismantle the country's nuclear capabilities. The two leaders praised each other for their alliance in the conflict, with Netanyahu presenting Trump with a letter he said he had sent to the Nobel Prize Committee, in which he nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, a longtime ambition for the president.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor to have Bibi and Sarah with us, friends of mine for a long time, and we had a tremendous success together. And I think it will only go on to be even greater success in the future.
Trump told reporters that Iran wants to talk with the U.S. and that Washington and Tehran have scheduled talks. He declined to reveal the timeline for those talks, telling reporters, "I'd rather not say, but you'll be reading about it tomorrow." Asked whether regime change should take place in Tehran, Netanyahu said that is up to the people of Iran. While a ceasefire between Israel and Iran continues to hold, a similar agreement in Gaza is proving harder to achieve, despite the optimistic tone struck by Trump and Netanyahu in recent days. Trump said there was no hold-up in reaching a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas.
A spokesperson for Egypt's health ministry said 4 workers were killed and at least 22 others injured in a fire that broke out on Monday at a key data center in Cairo. The blaze at a Telecom Egypt facility, which was contained the same day, caused disruptions to communications across the capital. Egypt's Ministry of Communication and Information Technology said in a statement on Tuesday that services would gradually restore within 24 hours.
Telecom Egypt said it mourned the employees who lost their lives and offered support to their families. The fire halted phone calls and disrupted internet access, with internet monitoring group NetBlocks reporting that network data showed national connectivity at 62% of normal levels. The health ministry posted alternative numbers for ambulance services across various governorates in case people were unable to reach its main hotline. According to a bank source and residents on Monday, in addition to phone calls, some digital banking services were also impacted, including credit cards, ATMs, and online transactions. Banks had already been closed for the day.
The first malaria treatment suitable for babies and very young children has been approved for use and is expected to be rolled out in African countries within weeks. Until now, there have been no approved malaria drugs specifically for babies. Instead, they have been treated with formulation intended for older children, which presents a risk of overdose. In 2023, the most recent year for which data is available, malaria was linked to around 597,000 deaths.
Almost all of the deaths occurred in Africa, and around 3/4 were children under 5 years old. Malaria treatments for children do exist, but until now, there was none specifically for the very youngest babies and small children who weigh less than 4.5 kilograms. They have been treated with drugs designed for older children, but that presents risks, as doses for older children may not be safe for babies, whose liver functions are still developing and whose bodies process medicine differently. Experts say this has led to what is described as a treatment gap. Now, a new medicine developed by the drug company Novartis has been approved by Swiss authorities and is expected to be rolled out in countries with the highest malaria rates within weeks.
ByteDance is set to be building a new US-only version of the TikTok app that will release on September 5th. According to the information, the company is moving ahead with this plan to comply with legislation requiring it to sell its TikTok business in the US or face a nationwide ban. The report suggested that users in the US will have to switch to the new app, dubbed M2, in order to continue using TikTok. It is said that ByteDance will remove the existing TikTok app from US app stores when the new one debuts.
It's believed that the current version of the app will stop working in the US next March, though that timeline may shift. A law signed last year by former President Joe Biden gave ByteDance a deadline of January 19th to sell its US TikTok business or face a nationwide ban. President Donald Trump took office on January 20th and swiftly paused enforcement of the law. He has delayed it twice more since then. As things stand, the ban is set to take effect on September 17th. In late June, Trump said there was a buyer in place for TikTok's US operations. He claimed that a group of very wealthy people is set to buy the app and that the identity of the collective would become clear in about 2 weeks.
Archaeologists have announced the discovery of an ancient city in Peru's northern Barranca province. The 3,500-year-old city, named Penico, is believed to have served as a key trading hub connecting early Pacific coastal communities with those living in the Andes Mountains and the Amazon basin. Located about 200 kilometers north of Lima, the site lies approximately 600 meters above sea level and is thought to have been founded between 1800 and 1500 BC. Around the same time, early civilization were flourishing in the Middle East and Asia.
Researchers say the discovery sheds light on what became of the America's oldest civilization, the Cairo. Drone footage shows a circular structure on a hillside terrace at the city's center, surrounded by the remains of stone and mud buildings. 8 years of research at the site unearthed 18 structures, including ceremonial temples and residential complexes. Researchers also discovered ceremonial objects, clay sculptures of human and animal figures, and necklaces made from beads and seashells inside the buildings. Penico is located near the site of Cairo, recognized as the oldest known civilization in the Americas, established around 3000 BC in Peru's Soup Valley.
The answer for yesterday was B, deliberation. The jury took several hours of deliberation before reaching a verdict. Did you answer correctly? Now let's dive into today's news. Netanyahu meets with Trump at White House. Number 1, dismantle, 解除, 解体. The government plans to dismantle outdated regulations that hinder innovation. Number 2, alliance, 联盟, 同盟. The two countries formed a military alliance to strengthen regional security. Number 3, regime, 政权, 体制. The authoritarian regime was criticized for violating human rights. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Argentina's journey to independence began in the early 1800s. At the time, Spain ruled much of South America, including Argentina. In 1810, after Napoleon invaded Spain, local leaders saw a chance to push for freedom. They set up their own government in Buenos Aires, challenging Spanish rule. This new government wanted full independence, so in 1816, leaders from different provinces met at the Congress of Tucumán and declared Argentina's independence from Spain, marking a turning point in its history. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Wade Lee, your host. I'll see you next time.